want to show you all how easy it is to make a delicious holiday meatloaf Gina Young style. Yes, you can have meatloaf for your holiday. This recipe is simple. It's so easy to make. No matter who you feed it to, they're gonna love it. Here's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need some ground beef. So now, today I'm using 2 pounds of ground beef. And you can mix and match your meats if you want to, like use a ground turkey and a ground beef, or even a ground pork, ground turkey, and ground beef together. They all taste amazing, okay? So I'm using 2 pounds so we can have a nice size meatloaf. You're gonna need a really interesting ingredient. Milk, just a little bit. You're gonna need 1 large egg and some breadcrumbs. So whether you're taking fresh bread and you're pulling it apart and putting it in here, or any kind of breadcrumbs you wanna use will work just fine. We're using some ketchup and mustard. We're gonna use some beautiful green bell pepper and a nice sweet Vidalia onion. And then you're gonna need some spices to make it come together and taste good. You can see that I'm using some chicken bouillon powder today for my salt. Now, if you don't have it or you just don't want to use it, you always can use salt, okay? We're going to be using a little bit of Italian seasoning if you like it. If you don't like it, leave it out. Onion and garlic powder, paprika, and black pepper. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's make a delicious holiday meatloaf that's going to be juicy and super flavorful. As we're making this for the holiday, we're going to go all out and make this taste absolutely amazing. What are we going to do special? We're going to saute our bell pepper and onion, make them nice and sweet, and then we're going to incorporate them. Sometimes you've seen me do that, but not all the time, because not all the time do I feel like doing it. But if it's the holiday, go ahead and saute them and see how delicious your meatloaf will turn out. So in my pan here, you can see I got a tiny bit of oil or butter, whatever you want to use. Let's go ahead and break these down. And then we're going to saute them until those onions become nice and clear in color, and the peppers will begin to soften, and then we'll turn them off, okay? And you definitely want to cool them down before they go inside of your meat. And take this time to chop up our bell peppers and onions. You can chop them up nice and fine if you want to. I've even seen people put their peppers and onions into like a blender before they put them in their meatloaf. I don't know about that, because when I have meatloaf, I want to be able to see those lovely vegetables going all through my meatloaf. I think it makes it look gorgeous, especially if you're using different colored peppers. So I'm going to do that same thing with my onion. My onion right here is making my eyes water right now. I'll be back. Go ahead and put our bell peppers and our onions right into our pan so they can get nice and sweet and sauteed up. And it's okay if you get some good color onto your onions. That'll be fine. It just makes them taste even that much sweeter. Okay, so now let's go ahead and mix everything up, okay? And then, like I said, it's super important that your vegetables are cooled down, and a quick way to cool them down is after they're done sauteing, put them in the refrigerator, let them cool down, and then you can mix them in. Because you wouldn't want to turn this onion or this egg into scrambled eggs, right? No, you don't. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want to put about a half a cup, only a half a cup, of breadcrumbs in. There's sometimes that I like to use the, what is it called? What is it? What I was trying to say. There's sometimes that I like to put the cornflake breadcrumbs in a meatloaf. It makes for a spectacular meatloaf. All right, so now we've put our breadcrumbs in. My eyes are just watering. It's hard for me to get my words out when my eyes are watering this much, right? So look at that. I put about 1.5 tablespoons of some beautiful yellow mustard. It really drives home a great flavor for your meatloaf. A lot of people that don't eat meatloaf, or they didn't grow up on it, they wonder, does it taste like a hamburger? No, not at all. It tastes like meatloaf. And what meatloaf is supposed to taste like. About 2 tablespoons of ketchup. If you wanted to switch this out for barbecue sauce, you could do that too. It's delicious, right? And I'm going to go in with my salt. My salt is chicken bouillon powder. You don't want to use it, use regular salt, okay? Don't be afraid to season. This is a lot of meat here, and you need to really put the seasoning in, okay? A little tiny bit of Italian seasoning. Great, it really brightens up the whole aspect of how it's going to taste. Onion and garlic powder. A little tiny bit of paprika. It's not smoked. All right, and we're going to put some black pepper in, but then I'm going to put in some milk. Just a tiny bit of milk to soften up the breadcrumbs. That's what my grandma used to do, so that's what I like to do. All right, not enough milk to make this watery. We don't want it watery, okay? So watch me. That's the perfect amount. Normally, I would go right in with my hands and mix this up, but because I got nails, I don't want all that meat up under there, right? So we're gonna use this wooden spoon. Now here's the thing, my grandmom used to always tell me, she said, you're making up a hamburger, you're making meatloaf, or even your Salisbury patties. The residual heat from your hand will heat the meat up if you're holding it too long, and it makes it tough and just not what we're looking for, right? So basically what we're trying to do, let's go ahead and get this thing mixed up. Okay, and once you get it mixed up, leave it alone. So once you've cooled down your onions and your bell peppers, then you're clear to put them into the mixture. Mix everything up, okay? And now I'm just gonna pour it right into my baking pan here, and then I'm gonna show you how to make it into a loaf. Really, you can make it into whatever you want it to. If you wanted to put it into a circle or a square, you could do that too. Okay, so watch this. Once it comes right out, I'm just really gonna make sure that there are no splits or no holes, because as it bakes up, that's just gonna give the juice a route to come out of if you leave any holes in it, okay? So we're just gonna begin pushing it this way so it can be high, and then we're gonna push it this way, okay? Until we get that loaf that we're looking for. And I always put like a half a cup or maybe a little bit less of water just in the bottom of the pan, just to kind of get things going, okay? And what do I mean by the cracks in it so the juice could come out? Like something like that, the juice would just come rolling out the whole time during the cooking process, and you'll be upset because it'll be dry. So how do you prevent that? Well, you just kindly take your finger, you smooth out all those holes, and then you're good to go, and all your juices will remain in the inside of the meatloaf. How long do we cook it? For about 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now, the last 10 minutes of the cooking process, we will be taking this, and you never cover it. Just let it cook like this. The last 10 minutes of the cooking process, we're going to take this out of the oven and we're going to smother the top with ketchup. You could also do like a tomato paste and a little bit of honey, tomato paste, honey, and mustard, you know, whatever you really want to do. But for me, ketchup does the trick all the time. A little bit of water in, don't cover it up. In the oven, 350 degrees. That's what I call a meatloaf. It cooked for 1 hour, okay? So now, here's what we're gonna do. Just take your ketchup. This is the kind of meatloaf that I grew up. A lot of people, like my husband, he likes his meatloaf served with gravy. So if you wanted to make a beef gravy on the side, absolutely you could. Here's what I'm gonna do. I just slather it on the top, just like this. We're gonna throw it back into the oven for 10 minutes so this can set up. And I cannot wait to show you how juicy and lovely this is gonna be when we slice into it. A look at this. And it was just that easy. Listen to me. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, but you're waiting on, tell your family and friends. Tell the world what Gina's doing every single day in this kitchen. And Father, we thank you on today for this beautiful dinner. Amen. And once again, I'm going right in. It's going to be juicy. Going to be super flavorful. Oh my God. And that color, that's the color that you're wanting. Right? Let's taste. That's it. Ooh, enjoy.